Hey, it's Ted here. I'm out in my backyard. I've got this old 91 Bayliner, and I was going to redo it years ago. The engine had seized up, got salt water in it, and life got in the way, lost interest, so we're just going to clean it out, get everything out of it, and then recycle it. So let's take a look at the fuel tank, which is what I wanted to kind of go over here, just so you can see what it looks like in a boat. I did a previous video on this, but I wanted to show you in life what it looks like and name some of the components, and show you kind of some of the things that you want to do if you have a vent through the side of the hull. So let's take a look. All right, so here it is. We have the fuel tank in place. This is a very cheap label. It's just a stick-on label, really not very good. The information here is pretty thin. I was looking to see how many gallons it possibly held, and maybe it's 30. Maybe. I can't really tell, but it might be a 30-gallon tank. It's not a big one, but I got to get it out of the boat because I got to recycle it, and you can't get rid of a boat with a fuel tank in it. So as you can see, I'm going to have to take this assembly out, and then I've got to cut the deck out. So I've got to get a Sawzall or a circular saw. I'll probably use a circular saw because it looks like there's room here on the side, and I'll just run along here and I'll cut the stringer out, and then I'll be able to pull the tank out up through the deck once I get it, out. But anyway, let's look at the tank itself. So you got your sending unit. Standards code is pink wire for the sending unit is for the sender. They've put a green wire for ground for some strange reason. That's just Bayliner. Yellow or black for ground. You need a ground for the sending unit. That wire should also go up, and it should have a ground wire up here. And I was looking for it, and that is not there. So I do not see a grounding wire for that. That should have a wire that should have a wire that's grounded to earth ground for, safety for static electricity. So there is, it looks like, an anti-siphon valve here, and that doesn't really need to be in this application. And for one reason is this tank is way down here, and I believe that the fuel pickup on the engine is way up here. So the fuel line apparently has one fastener here, and it went uphill. So the fuel filter was mounted on the engine, and you could have definitely skipped the anti-siphon valve. What I got to do is I'm going to take that anti-siphon valve out, take the fuel line off, and then I'm going to get an electric pump outside the boat, run the cables over to a battery outside the boat, and then pump any residual old fuel out of this into jerry jugs. So just to show you that, you've got your vent. That vent also was nice that they did was where it went through the side of the boat was they actually raised it up. So they actually had put this above, so the vent where it goes out the side of the boat is below the loop. So they put a loop in there so no water could go up the vent and down into the tank. 7 US Coast Guard Type A2 1991. Type A2 is okay for fuel fill and fuel vent. Fuel line that is constantly filled with fuel should be type A1 or A115. And this vent is, I can't really see information on it, but I'm sure it's A2 fuel line just by looking at it. So just, here's the transom assembly. I'm going to finish taking this out and get this to reuse in my Chris Craft. So this is actually a Gen 2 transom assembly in really good shape. This boat was always trailered. Just needs some cleanup, and what we're going to do is we're going to backfit this to the 86 Chris Craft and put a Gen 2 drive on it. Hey, so if you liked the video, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.